One thing I gotta do before I put this valve train back together, rods, lifters, rocker arms, is I got this running at 80 degrees for 30 minutes. I got about 6 of them in the 6-liter. Whoops, sorry. I got 6 rocker arms in the 6-liter cleaner. And here's the other 6. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to clean these up with soap and water. Hot soapy water. I sprayed them down with some parts cleaner and degreaser. I got my rods soaking in oil. I got the exhaust ones there, intake ones there, and the lifters. All the lifters are soaking. And so before I put these lifters in, rods and rockers, got a little bit more cleaning to do. I got the belt on, alternator on, belt, water pump pulley. I got my brand new pulley here, new pulley, pulley here, and then also a new pulley on the tensioner. They were making some noise, so I elected to buy some new ones. Now it's whisper quiet, which is good. I got my heads on, exhaust headers on, and not the heat shields per se. I think I might have to go and get some, find some. Have some heat shields on that. This is what we got left. Fuel rail. The EGR valve and tube, oil cap, the valve covers, and the electronical fire maker thing, crossover pipe, and that pipe, and that pipe, and then that cover, and the battery and the case. There's all my gaskets, all my parts that I used. So all my intake stuff down there. So we're gonna let that run and see how that comes out, and we'll get that in. This is just the beginning to the end, folks. The beginning to the end. Alright, last car of the month. December. Oh, never mind. November was the Plymouth Belvedere GTX Hemi 67 model. The final car, dun, 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 wait for it. It's the 1967 Mercury Cougar with the 289 under the bonnet. There's a Merc badge. Says Kit Kat on the license plate. 1967 Mercury Cougar, the 289 V8. Last car of the month, December 2023. Okay. Now I'll bring you back over here. You guys will watch me put in some lifters, rods, the rocker arms, gaskets, lower intake, And I think maybe that will probably do it. I went ahead and took off all that assembly again for the belt. That's the alternator assembly. Just so I can have some room. So, let's get to work, shall we? Oh, we got some brand new lifters like I showed you. All 12 of them bad boys. Nice and clean and brand spanking new. Now it's going to matter how you put these in, because the crankshaft turns this way, so the lobes are running this way, and so your roller has to roll this way as well. Not this way, but this way. And that's how we're going to put it in. See how the roller is? We're going to put it in, drop it in, just like that. It's going to be kind of a messy job, you know, because of oil and such. That's okay, because we're almost done with this beast. And if a little extra oil gets down in the way there, it'll be fine. It's not going to overfill your pan or anything. It's going to give a little extra lubrication to the crank. Then when we're done, we can go ahead and wipe off excess on the gasket surfaces and all that jazz. So if you notice, there's flat spots on the front and back. Keep those on the front and back. You don't want them slid sideways. That's gonna give you your indication of how you put the lifter guide on. And the last one. Okay, fits right in there. Nice like. Okay, there we go. All the lifters are in. That didn't take too long. Okay. Got oil all over my freaking fender liner. Okay. Yep, smells like oil. Next up, we're coming in with lower intake gaskets. And there's some locating pins, 3 of them. One right there, one right there, and one right there. Okay, they should sit nice and flush. Like that. And the other one, make sure your guides for your push rods are pointing towards the engine. Oh, there's a one on the bottom on each side too. There, right there. Okay. All right. Now the push rods. Okay, the valves that you see on the inside of the engine, that's the intake. Now, being that your engine needs more air, the valve needs to open further. Thus far, telling you that the longer push rods go on the intake. So it's going to start with exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake. That's not right. Exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, intake, exhaust. Okay, I had it wrong, my bad. It's going to start with exhaust, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, and then intake, exhaust on the last two. So remember that. And we'll put all of our intakes in. My heater's kicking on, which is this second guide right here. Okay, so we're gonna put one right in here to there. Then we're gonna go to the next one. Here and here. And the next one. No, here and here. Then on this one, I'm gonna go here and here. Here and here. So these parts are the intakes. Then these ones that are closer to the valve, the springs, are the exhaust. Here and here. Okay. And I got two left. Which, yep. Let's do the exhaust. The exhaust, you're going to go on the inside of these, right here and here. right here and here, which is the short. Exhaust opens, doesn't need that far to open, so it's gonna get a shorter rod. Okay, go down in here and here. Okay, down in here and here. And again, we'll wipe off our excess. Down in here and here. Okay? Because we don't need all that oil sitting on everything, on gaskets and whatnot. Okay, all of our valves have a rod, and all of our springs have a rod. Now it's time for rocker arms. Make sure your oil is off of the gaskets. It's okay if you drip a little in the valve cover area where the springs are. I'm going to squirt a little oil on those anyway before putting the valve cover on, so we're not decompressing and compressing the springs dry. Okay, get that off. Oh. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna stop real quick. I gotta put my guides in. Can't believe I forgot. See how easy it is to forget one step? So I gotta back up and put my guides on, screw them down, and then we'll be good. So I'm going to stop the film and we'll pick up when I got it just like this again, but with the guides. Alright, I am back, and as you can see, I got my guide lifters on right there and right there. Pan you down a little bit. See that brown, those brown that brown part right there and that brown part right there. Looks a little different, huh? Almost made a mistake again. So those are 10 mil bolts, and there's 4, 2 on each rail, and valve lifter guide bolts are 89 inch-pounds. Okay, now I got my bucket of rocker arms. We're going to put these on with the 8 mil, and these get torqued 24 foot-pounds. We're going to take a little bit of our oil. We're going to rub it all on here on the top of our spring. Okay. I'm going to take this little funky doohickey. Okay, it's got a little notch. That's going to correspond with the notch where the bolt goes. Okay, so in this case it's running up and down, and we're going to put our notch up and down. Then we're going to stick our bolt in. Make sure our push rod goes in that little dimple. And run the screw down. Okay, we'll just keep going here. That's the little dimple that I was talking about inside the rocker arm. That dimple goes on the push rod because it's a cylinder in there. This side goes on the spring. This side where the wear is, that's where it rubs on the top of that spring. Let me put a little bit of oil on there. Okay. Just so we're not going on a dry first startup. And eventually, you'll get them all on, torque them down. Get a little bit of oil on there. I got oil on my hands anyway, so I will make sure that gets oil. Come on, get back in there. Alrighty. Of course I have it the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Turn it. There you go. I'm leaning on my freaking hood latch and it hurts. running each one of these down by hand. So when we compress the screw, it will, you know, compress down. It'll also compress the spring down according to the crank. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. Camshaft. Oh my god. Camshaft. It's been a while. I've had each one of these soaking in oil for a little bit. Get back up on there. Okay, that one's done. That side. We'll go through and hand tighten. These will open the valves accordingly. See, this one's still loose. Yeah. See? Alright, this one. Okay. And this one. This one's not very tight yet. There we go. That one's tight. That one's tight. Tight. That one's not very tight either. Tight. And tight. Okay. $24 foot-pounds. So I'm going to switch out socket wrenches for torque wrenches. 24 foot-pounds. I gotta change it to foot-pounds. I'm still on inch-pounds. There. Go to 24. Woohoo. There we go. 24 foot-pounds. Okay. Mm-hmm. 24. 24. 4. Okay. They're all 24. That one's still loose. That one's still loose. That one's still loose. That's because the valve's still closed. So we got 2, 3. Well, all the intakes are stay in there. Jeez. There. Okay, then you're just gonna do this side. I'll do this other side. Then we'll come back and we'll do the lower intake. Alright, got this other side on. All my rocker arms are torqued to 24 foot-pounds. Valve train is put together. Let's do the lower intake. And just like that, in the nick of time, it's on, it's torqued. I do gotta tell you, these 4 bolts are a 2-sequence deal, and then this one and that one and that one, and of course that one, are also 2-sequence tightening deal. The 4 bolts, okay, it says right here, the 4 bolts 1 through 4, which is, focus, 62 inch-pounds, and then after the 62 inch-pounds, go to 115 inch-pounds, and then you're done. When torquing these, the first one is 115 inch-pounds, okay, and then you switch to 18 foot-pounds. So 62, 115, 115, and 18. I got all my gaskets on. We're getting really close. I gotta do EGR valve. I got a new thermostat so we can button up the cooling system. We gotta do valve covers. We gotta do fuel rail and the upper intake and the ignition system. The crossover exhaust pipe, I still gotta put that on. And then the battery, the air filter box assembly, it's going pretty good so far. All the rockers, push rods, lifters are in. The closer and closer I get, gets me more and more anxious to hear how this is going to run. I imagine it's going to be quiet because there's no gunk in any orifice or bolt hole or, you know, anything. It's all clean. New pulleys. So there goes my light. Dang, must be time to charge it. So I'll get off of here. Next video, oh, I don't know, probably valve covers, fuel rail, maybe upper intake. We'll see. So that's gonna wrap it up for this week. Until next time, I just want to tell you, I did this, so can you. Get out in the shop and do something.